All right, a Texas man spends $350,000 to hunt a rare black rhino in Africa. And after 3 days of stalking the rhino, Corey Knowlton bagged his prize. This controversial hunt, it's causing an international firestorm on Twitter. Ready2 Chuck tweeted, an example of having more dollars than sense. Texas hunter kills one of the last remaining rhinos in Africa. Now, Knowlton says he killed the rhino for a purpose, to save it. CNN correspondent Ed Lavandera was the only reporter granted exclusive access to this hunt. He is joining me now from Namibia. Ed?
Hi, well, this is a hunt, as you mentioned, extremely controversial, but Corey Knowlton wants the world to see how it all went down, because in his eyes, this is one small step, one small part of saving this endangered species. 3 days of hunting a black rhino through the unforgiving desert brush of northern Namibia.
Now chill.
Slow down.
Ended here. And Corey Knowlton has no regrets.
I'm pretty emotional right now, to be honest. So.
You've been heavily criticized for doing what you just did.
Yeah.
Do you still feel like what you did is going to benefit the black rhino in the future?
100%. I felt like from day one it was benefiting the black rhino. And I'll feel like that until, the day I die.
Knowlton granted CNN exclusive access into this controversial hunt for the black rhino, one of the most endangered species in the world. He won the license to hunt the rhino in an auction last year.
There's so many people who think that what you're doing out here is barbaric and that you don't care about this black rhino.
Nobody in this situation with this particular black rhino put more value on it than I did. I'm absolutely hell-bent on protecting this animal.
Do you think it smelled us when we went in?
Knowlton's received death threats and scathing criticism. Some animal welfare groups call conservation hunting a horrific idea.
These are incredibly majestic creatures, and their worth alive is far more, it's far greater than they are dead.
In Namibia, the biggest threats to the black rhino are poachers and often the rhinos themselves.
I'm Corey. Nice to meet you.
Knowlton is told by Namibian government observers to target 4 specific rhinos considered a high-priority threat to the herd. That's the story of this rhino spotted by cameras at a watering hole just before sunrise. Last year, it killed another rhino in a gruesome fight. The hunt begins. The African brush is dense. Knowlton will have a split second to decide whether to pull the trigger.
It would be a catastrophic mistake for Corey if he were to shoot the wrong rhino, one that is not on the list of eligible rhinos to be taken out of the herd.
Local trackers pick up the rhino's footsteps and walk deeper into the brush.
This was the angry one that's already killed another bull. So he's likely just going to get up and come. So we need to be ready.
Silence is crucial. Trackers direct Knowlton and his Namibian hunting guide with hand signals. We get closer, and in an instant, the rhino flashes before us. The rhino moves around us, but he's invisible, silent. A nearly 3,000-pound beast that can move like a ghost in the brush until it decides to charge. We don't see him until he's 30 feet away, charging right at us, and I have to dive below Knowlton's high-powered rifle. A short while later, the rhino is dead.
As we sit here at this moment and take it all in, and we think about what the biggest threat to these rhinos are around the world, and it's poachers, people who will kill these animals and leave them to rot in these fields of Africa just for this horn. These horns that you see here will sell for hundreds of thousands of dollars on the black market.
Corey Knowlton knows this isn't easy to watch, but he vows to take the abuse of his critics to convince the world that conservation hunting can help save the black rhino.
Ed, it's interesting because you say, it isn't easy to watch. I can't imagine what was it like for you to be there and experience that firsthand.
Oh, it was surreal. It was, at that particular moment, it was quite terrifying, to be honest. But I really thought that being able to experience that and tell the story of conservation and this controversial and very emotional issue for so many people, and kind of tell that story through Corey Knowlton's hunt, I thought that would be the most powerful way to kind of get people talking about this issue and interested in it. When I first met Corey Knowlton after he had won the auction last January back in Texas, this wasn't something that I knew a whole bunch about, to be honest. And I found it to be just a fascinating issue and a fascinating debate that the continent of Africa is dealing with.
Yeah, and a very controversial debate at that. Ed, I appreciate you bringing that to us.